Hey everyone, how are you doing? Today is Thursday and it is the time for the animal experience. And my name is Coryelle Kramer. I'm a professional animal communicator, seer, psychic, medium, healer. It's a lot of stuff to fit onto a business card. So I've condensed it down to calling myself a metaphysical expert for animals and people. And hi, Pamela. Hi, Sadie. It's very nice to see you all. Thanks for joining. And Colby Jack, of course, always. My boy, Colby. So this is the animal experience. And Rhonda, hello, everyone. So this is the animal experience. And what the animal experience is each week, Thursdays, 12 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I go on the air and I let you know a different topic that I've learned from the animals and share the wisdom that I've learned from them, because I felt like it was time to really bring this to the masses, or as much masses as I possibly can. I'm trying. I'm doing good. The animal experience is doing really, really good. I'm really proud of it. So, and that's thanks to all of you and your support and your sharing about the videos and things like that there. So I'm just thrilled with that. So each week is a different topic that's I learned from them and that has changed my life as a human being on this planet living with the animals. So we've covered a wide range of topics so far, and this is episode 13, lucky 13. I don't believe in any kind of unlucky. So this is lucky number 13. And this one is about animals and divinity. Do they connect to divinity? And if so, how? Do they pray? Do they meditate? Do they see what we see? Are they searching like humans are searching for something greater than ourselves? So there's a lot of things going on in this topic. And we've covered a wide range so far, and each one has been really special to me. We've covered death and reincarnation. We've covered soul plans and life plans. We've covered sustenance and prey animals, how they feel about things. So many different topics. Last week was on the past lives, and the week before that was on law of attraction. And each one has kind of like progressed to the next. And it's great to be able to bring all these wisdoms to you, all this wiseness, all this guidance, all these messages that the animals have. And so that's what the animals experience is all about. Colby Jack, hi Coryelle. I'm here with my mom, my brother Cruton, and my brother Champ. And we've been waiting all day for this episode. We love you. Thank you for blessing us with this special topic. We love you all. We all love you. Thank you. We love them all. Thank you, Colby. I appreciate it. So, okay, so this is animals and divinity. So let's get to it. All right. So do animals and God and the universe, how do they see it? Now, this was a kind of interesting topic for me to discuss with the animals, because what I was finding was, just like human beings, there is no straight answer. But then I was able to delve deeper and really get into the animal kind and touch with the animal kind, both domesticated and wild. And I was really able to really get some even more stuff that I didn't even know about. So this was as it was happening, kind of a thing. It's been quite incredible, and I'm very eager to share it with you. So first off, how do they see the God? How do they see divinity? So the animals in general see divinity as an extremely powerful guiding force. We talked about this. I talked about this in the 2 episodes ago when I talked about law of attraction and how the stream of well-being is flowing to every being on this planet, and animals are very in tune with it. They're very in tune with the stream of well-being. They're very in tune with the universe. So they see it as this huge, guiding, powerful, beautiful, loving force. And what they do is they call this force, not all of them, but the majority of them call this force the oneness. We can call it God, Goddess, Divine, Buddha, Harry, Fred. I don't care what you call it. The animals call it the oneness. Now, what that is that it's a life force, and it has, every being on this planet has a bit of the life force of the oneness inside of them. No matter if they're an animal, a person, a tree, grass, whatever. There, as long as it has an energetic pulse to it, which almost everything on this planet does, it has an essence of the oneness in it. Now, the oneness to the animals it's everything. It's male, it's female, it's light, it's dark, it's animals, it's humanoid. The universe, it's a universal entity of all things, so it must be of all things, if that makes sense. And they're very tied to it. And they all the animals believe in the oneness. All animals believe that there is something guiding this and other planes of existence. Okay. So they all believe in the oneness, but it's varying degrees. And it differs, interestingly enough, it kind of differs from the domesticated animals to the wild animals. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is, do they connect to divinity? Do animals connect to divinity, and do they pray? Do they pray? Do they pray like us? You know, Sadie says, listening has really helped me open up again. And you were talking about, as you were talking, one of my dogs described it as mother. Love the opening up. Good. Mother. They have, it all depends. It's all different. But when I talk to animal kind, they can talk about it as being the oneness. So do they connect to divinity? Do animals pray? See, now when I connect to the wild animals, they tell me that everything they do, and I find this so beautiful, it always chokes me up. I cry more on these shows, I swear to goodness. So the wild animals tell me that everything they do is a prayer. Every single action, no matter how small, is a prayer. Beautiful, right? I mean, that's deep. It's so simple, it's deep. Okay. So every single action they do is a prayer of thanks, a prayer of appreciation to the oneness for simply being alive and simply living life another day. That, I think everyone should live their lives like that. I think we all should start to see all of our actions as a prayer of thanks and appreciation. I think we get too much in our own heads. And I understand, look, I get it, okay? Animals don't have bills to pay. They don't have taxes to pay. They don't have, food that they have to buy and money they have to earn. I get it. But if we can kind of make that into a mantra for us every single day, to remember that all of our actions that we do on this plane is a prayer of thanks and appreciation for just being alive, I think it would enrich our lives a lot more. So to continue, so they believe they all of their actions are a prayer of thanks and appreciation, but they are really deeply connected, constantly connected to divine. Through that connection, there is a constant dialogue between them and the oneness and divinity. thank you. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing that. You know, I appreciate and love my life. I love my babies. I love, you know, I love being able to have some food and find food, you know. So there is a constant dialogue between them and divine. And for that reason, simply enough, I think that's a sense of prayer. I mean, what else is prayer but talking to divine, asking, giving thanks, appreciation, acknowledging that divine exists. And there's this constant connection in varying degrees between the animals, whether they're domesticated or whether they're wild and divine. Now, that is a constant connection unless something like hardships, you know, pull them out of their flow with divine. And when that happens, you know, they usually show, and I'm going to go more into this in another episode about why do animals do unwanted behaviors. But what happens is when they get pulled out of their connection to divine through hardships. And when I talk about hardships, I'm talking about, you know, people, you know, treating animals unjustly and things like that there. And they pull them out of their stream or their flow of divine. And when that happens, they usually, you know, feel disconnected, and they show it by doing unwanted behaviors like aggression, like dominance, fear. Because when think about it, when you're in the flow of divinity, you yourself, when you're in the flow of divinity and you're feeling good, okay, you're as far away from fear as you know, as you possibly can be. Fear is on the other side of the world. Okay, fear's on the other side of the planet. Fear's on the other side of the universe, because you're connected and you're trusting. And when you get pulled out of that, you start acting up. You start getting ornery, grumpy, irritable, bitchy, whatever you want to call it. You know, you start acting from a place of fear. And that's what happens to the animals as well. Not all of them, but some of them lose their connection to the divine, and they have unwanted behaviors when that happens. So, but unlike humans, they go, if they're given the chance and they can recover, they want to go as fast back into that flow of connection to divine as possible. If given the chance, they will go right on back as much as they can. And some need outside help, like, you know, natural healing through flower essences, through aromatherapy, through tea touch, you know, through acupuncture. And some might even need things like tranquilizers, but not. The goal is once they're connected to divine, they don't need that anymore. So I hope that answers that question. It's a really beautiful thing because they are able to connect and constantly connect, and every single thing they do through that connection is a type of prayer, you know, and I think we have much to learn from that. That's just my opinion. So thank you. Listen, everybody, thank you for joining. George, Susan, Sandra, Kate, Jules, Colby Jack loves it. He thinks it's beautiful. Laura, I appreciate all of you for joining. I really do, and giving the animal experience a place to express this kind of wisdom that I think can change lives. I know it's changed mine. So going to the next topic. So what I want to discuss now is, do they see things like angels and gods and goddesses and gods and, you know, all that kind of good stuff that we see? So when I connected also to my own domesticated, my own 3 cats, and each one was varying to the degree. And this is when I started delving really a little bit more deeper, because with Sammy, my big boy, my tabby cat, he does it, but he doesn't do it. He doesn't go out and do it. He just kind of like, it's always there for him when he needs it, but he doesn't actively go and look for them, but he's always open to them. You know, so domesticated animals, they told me that they do. Some actively don't, like Sammy. And also Tao does, my orange ginger, my redheaded stepchild, I call him. He's my orange ginger. So he does, Sacred does, my black cat. Then I started talking to the animals and connecting to the animals on the outside, and I wanted to find out about them. But first off, some domesticated animals tell me they do actively, but some don't. But a lot of the animals do. They see and work with all different kinds of beings. I've had sessions with animals that have told me, you know, they're pulling down like angels, and they're pulling into goddesses energy, and they're pulling into the divine feminine energy, and they're pulling into spirits and pixies and all this kind of stuff. So it was very interesting. Now, wild animals, when I connect to them, they primarily talk to the oneness and to the earth, because they're earth beings. They're very tied to the earth energy, to Gaia, to Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it. You know, I think it's more of a Gaia kind of energy about it. They describe the oneness as being separate from the earth, but the earth as being part of the divine. Let me say that again. They say that the earth is separate from divine, but still has a part of the divine within it, if that makes sense. So they don't see the earth as God. They see the earth as a goddess, kind of like living, breathing, beautiful, majestic being. Laura Speed Beagle says Jelly is barking like crazy at you, like she's saying yes. Woo! That's confirmation. Thank you, Jelly. So, where was I? Sorry. I think that's awesome. So that's what they're saying, is that they see that the divine in the earth, but the earth is not divine. They can differentiate. Again, going back to, do animals reason, or is it just instinct? Of course they reason. I mean, they've taught me all this stuff. You know, I mean, it's crazy for me to think anything else. Now, here's where I delved deeper. Here's where it got very interesting. It's been interesting, but here we go. See, what it was that, but all, both wild and domesticated animals, are always willing to be open to the other beings of light, like the gods, the goddesses, the ethereal portals, things like that. They don't all necessarily see them all the time, but they always stay open to it. That's the opposite of what people do. People have a tendency to think, well, I'll believe it when I see it. Animals believe before they see it. Pretty cool stance to be in, don't you think? I think that's pretty awesome. You know, believe it before you see it, and then you see it. So, do they meditate? Yeah. And this is, again, where I went deeper, because I was talking to my animals and I was talking to other animals over the years about this. And it's very cool the way this happens. It's not the typical, like what we do. I don't do this, but I just sit there and just listen to really cool music, but whatever. See, prayer, there's a saying, prayer is talking to God or divine, or talking with divine, and meditation is listening to divine. The animals are always connected, like I said before, unless hardships pull them out of that flow. But they're masters of silence. They're masters of being one with the silence. And through their constant divine flow, they're always hearing the voice of God. all the time. Now, isn't that just what meditation is? Just sitting and listening to the voice of God, whatever that is, whether it's the God within or the God outside, or you hear, you connect. That's what meditation is. So do they meditate? Yeah, constantly. Cool, right? I mean, just like they're praying constantly, they're meditating constantly, because it's a flow of asking and listening, asking and listening. And I will take everybody's questions at the end, I promise. I just want to get to this and I'll go back. So if anybody has any questions, feel free, let it flow, type them up, and I'll answer them at the end. But it's a constant flow of asking and listening, asking and listening, asking and listening, talking and listening, talking and listening, talking and listening. That's conversation. That's what conversation is. It's not only just talking, or just always listening. It is constantly going back and forth. Pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So what I wanted to ask again at the end at this was, are animals spiritual? What can they teach us? Are they spiritual? Animals are spiritual. I believe so. Again, this is whatever you believe is what you believe, and that's cool. I'm just bringing you the guidance and the wisdom that I've learned from them. And this connection to divinity and stuff came to me when I was going through a particularly hard time spiritually. I wasn't quite sure about how to connect to divine. Although I was in a program, I was in AA at the time, and I very early started, and I wasn't sure about how to connect. I never really connected. I hadn't connected in a long time, so I didn't know what the heck I was praying to. I didn't know what the heck I was talking to. So I kind of started looking to the animals, and they really showed me about this, and gave it to me in such a simplistic, not stupid, but simplistic way that I could wrap my mind around it, because I was so against spirituality, because I thought spirituality was religion. And for me, I was against, at the time, I wasn't right. Okay. I wasn't right in the head. I was having my difficult time, and I was rebelling against religion. So are the animals spiritual? What can they teach us? Yes, animals are very spiritual. It's in every single thing that they do. It's in everything that they are. Even the animals that might be showing aggressive behavior and might be out of their flow, they still believe in the divine. They still trust in the divine. They lost their way to the flow, but that doesn't mean that they don't believe. It doesn't mean that they don't know that there is a spark of divine in each and every one of us. So they constantly are seeing that. They see the divine in all beings. They see soul. They see the light. They see all things. Animals have what we call a Christ consciousness. And what that means is, bottom line, I mean, it was before Jesus Christ. It was before CJ. But, whatever. He was also a master at it, and that's what we're all trying to, or what we should be going for, is how to love one another and appreciate each other, even when you don't like them. I might not like everyone, okay? I don't like everybody, but I will fight to say that person has every right to live their lives, because it's not up to me. They were given a divine spark, and I see that divine spark within every single person, and that's what the animals taught me. So yes, they are very spiritual. I tell people all the time, meditate with your animals to hear them better. I said that in the very early on episode where I was talking about hearing your own animals clearly. If you want to hear your own animals clearly, if you want to hear and connect with them in ways like you haven't before, just sit quietly with them every day for a little bit. And they don't have to be on your lap when you're doing it. They can be next to you. They don't even have to be in the room. But you're going to find out how incredibly spiritual they really are by connecting to them in the silence that they are masters at. But if you want to learn how to connect and talk to divine, you want to learn how to crank it up, no problem. Look to your animals. They'll show you, okay? They will show you. They can teach you things like you have no idea. They can teach you about how to walk with God. They can teach you how to speak and hear like never before. They can teach you how to be connected without trying so hard. I gotta make time for meditation. Shoot, I gotta go and pick up the dry cleaning. The animals don't just sit and meditate. They are constantly connected. So when you're doing your mundane chores, when you're doing the laundry, when you're vacuuming, connect before you do it. Connect to divine. Stay open to divine. Be in connection with divine, that is being constantly connected as often as you possibly can. Make it your goal. That's what the animals taught me. So I think that they are unbelievably beautiful in their way of cutting through the bull crap and getting to the heart of the matter and getting to the heart of what's really going on and getting out of the doubt and out of the mistrust and is this working? Are they hearing my prayers? Are my I don't know, I may be sorta we get into this mindset, and if we can get to the mindset of the animals, I'm looking at the birds at my feet right now. If we can get to the mindset of the animals and kind of allow that mindset in, we're going to gain things in our lives like you have no idea. You have no idea. So I'm going to now take questions and comments. If anybody wants to say anything, feel free, but that is my little take on the animals in divinity. So I'm going to go up a little bit. Please excuse me. So I got Colby Jack. I'm here with my mom. We did that already. I love that. Love to see you, Colby. Sarah Vowell Gates Sarah says, prayer is everything. Love that. Yes, it is. Prayer and meditation. Again, it's a conversation. If you're having a conversation and a relationship with divine, you can't always be talking. We all know people like this. Talk. Never listen. You never listen. All you want to do is talk about stuff, but you don't want to hear what anybody has to say to help you get out of whatever it is you're talking about. La, 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 la. It's like, shut up. Shut up and listen. That's prayer and meditation, I think, go hand in hand. Jamie says she loves that. Cool. Colby Jack says that's beautiful. Jamie, do they pray for others? Oh, great question. Yes. And here is the thing. Again, I know that this is kind of hard to hear, but they want to get back into their stream of well-being and that flow of divine so much they are willing to do anything. They need to release any anger, any resentment, any past experiences that happened to them. And this is where the Christ-like consciousness comes in. They will even pray and send love and release those who have hurt them. See, we have a tendency to do the opposite. And again, I'm not big on the Bible. I don't know a lot of stuff, okay? But there's a turn the other cheek kind of thing. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean that, turn the other cheek and, let the person stab you in the back and, treat you like a doormat. It's not about that. It's about the fact that, okay, you do this to me, but I'm not going to let your actions ruin my life to a point where I start hating. And I'm releasing that. So they will do anything and everything to get back into their flow and their stream with divine. And if that means forgiving and letting go and sending love and praying to the people that hurt them the most, no problem. Just show me the line back to divine. That's what they say. Great question, Jamie. Thank you very much for asking that. Laura Speed Beagle says, we love you here at our house and we were thankful for you. Love you, Laura. Love you and the crew. Jilly is barking. Is Jilly still barking, Laura? I want to know. Jamie has another great question. Do they ask divine for things, what they want? Yes. Again, that goes into the law of attraction episode, but a great question. The way that I understand it is yes, but it differs between wild and domesticated animals. So domesticated animals might. Usually they're very focused on their people. I want my person to be happy. I want my person to be healthy. I want my pack to be healthy. I want my pack to be happy. Sometimes maybe they'll get into the material like, oh, I'd really like a nice new bed or, a new tutu or a collar or something. Sometimes, or I'd really like that biscuit, it's, but it's not like it is, oh my God, I really want that Porsche. They don't care. They don't care about that. Wild animals, when I connect to them, it's different because they don't have a person, so they're more focused on themselves. Let they ask for things like safety and protection. They ask for things like health. They ask for things like well-being. They ask for things like, please help me to find food so that I can live another day. Please help me to find a mate so that I could share my life with them. It's more of a survivalist kind of thing. And it's a little bit different than the domesticated, if that makes sense. But great question, really great question. Kobe Jack says it keeps our word impeccable. It does. Your word is impeccable. And I'm going to go into an episode about, do animals lie? So we'll touch a little bit on that. But yes, it keeps your word very impeccable, my darling. Deborah Holland says, I like watching animals that bask in the sun and rain and their environment. They seem to become one with Mother Earth in gratitude much faster than we humans do. Great analogy. Absolutely. Absolutely. They're praising, they're appreciating. When you see an animal like that, they're appreciating. An animal is constantly appreciating. The wild animals are constantly appreciating, it is, but it gets down to connection to divine with them gets down to, again, what I said before, the bare basics. They cut away on all the bull crap and they really get to the heart of it. And they appreciate and they love that moment, because that moment can be taken away very, very quickly. You know, I mean, 1 minute you're here and the next minute, you know, you're feeding at the feeder, and the next minute, you know, you're not. You got caught by a cat or an owl or a hawk. So it's bare bones basic, but great question. Thank you very much. Colby Jack says, I thank God for you every day. You're going to make me cry, Colby. You're so sweet. Thank you very much, baby. Colby Jack's a sweet little dog. He's so cute. George, do they talk to other beings in your home? Do they talk to other beings in your home? I need to get clarification on that, George. I'm not quite sure what you mean. So I don't want to answer the question and then I go off on a tangent into something else differently. So if you can clarify for me on that, awesome. Janice, I've learned to live in the present for my beloved animals. They are all so amazingly brilliant if we only stop and connect with them. Amen, sister. Amen. Lori, hello, Lori. Thank you for joining. Jamie says, thank you. And Deborah, pretty sure Jackson prays and meditates for food most of the time. Yeah, I'm sure. Do they, you know, I also want to go into this. Do animals have a sense of humor? That just came up. So I'm going to do an episode on that because animals' sense of humor. I got to write this down or I forget. I'm having much fun with this. I'm having so much fun with this, but I'm getting so many different ideas every day for another episode, and people are sending me information and that triggers something, and people are asking me stuff and that triggers another episode. So yeah, you know, I'm pretty sure he does pray and meditate for, you know, to the food God, the God of all food, you know. I know one of my cats, Sam, he's the big boy. Yeah, he does that too. So unless George says, like the angels and the fae or other multidimensional beings. Okay. Yes, they do. They see divine. Like I said before, they see the divine, they see the angels, but they're always open to it, but not all of them see them. They're always open to them, but not all of them have seen them. It's kind of like people, you know, not every single person has seen a fairy. Not every single person has seen an angel. Some have, some haven't. So it's kind of like but the difference is between us and them is, again, it's the believing before you see it and then you see it stance. Humans have a tendency to say, I see it, I'll believe it when I see it. So that's to answer your question. Okay, we have some other questions. Kate, I'm so glad I caught an episode live. The fur baby slept through it, but my human baby was listening for a long time. Good, I'm glad. Rhonda says, my little Malcolm seems to me that he is really connected spiritually. If I pray, he will stop what he is doing and come sit by me. Ooh, I love that. Yes, they did. They definitely show you. I sit in my meditation chair every day, every morning, and depending on who it is, sometimes it's Sam, sometimes it's Sacred, sometimes it's Ta'u. They'll come up to me and just sit with me as I meditate. They're not all crazy about the morning ragas that I play. Some of them are a little tinny for them, but essentially they like the music that I play and they want to meditate with me. So if they're going to do it, if they do it, if I'm doing it, they're going to do it, you know, and vice versa. They'll actively, you know, they will actively come up to me and meditate and just be with me because they know, oh, her mind is quieting down. My mind is always pretty quiet, but her mind is quieting down. Let's get her, so to speak. So, I don't know, George, if I answered your question. So I'm sorry. I'm going to go back to that. For some reason, I think I did. But they do talk to angels. They do talk to they do see the Fae. Right, I did answer the question. Sorry. They do see the Fae. But again, not everyone. It's different degrees. Jamie, yeah, I had the fairies come into my home. They were definitely playing an annoying coda. I had to set up rules. Yes, I'm sure. They're funny. The Fae are funny, but coda's open to it too, and again, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be, if you're not a light artisan, which is what I call a light worker. If you're not a light artisan, or you're not somebody who's doing healing work, or you're just, a regular Joe and a regular Jane, your animals aren't going to be spiritual. Of course, that doesn't mean that. Okay, so that's why I'm saying you can always look to them. They have so much to share, and they have so many ways of sharing it with you. So Rhonda says, when you read My Angus, he described himself to you as a gentleman and Jerry Lewis. So yes, they have a sense of humor. Yeah, I remember that with Angus. He was very funny. So anybody have any other questions? Type it out. In the meantime, I'm going to wrap this whole thing up. So I want to thank you all for joining. It has been very, very amazing. As always, I love doing this. I am having a ball doing the animal experience. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say that next week's episode is tying pretty much into this. And it's about the spirits. Do animals see, talk to, commune with spirits? Question mark. And how? How so? How do they do it? What do they have to teach us about it? And this really opened my eyes to all this stuff, because I really started learning all this stuff before I started doing seer work or seeing work or psychic work with people. I was just pretty much just working with animals. So that is episode 13. So just a few things. The animal experience is now available on iTunes. It's available on Google Play. You can subscribe to it so that you never miss an episode. You can download it. You can listen to it whenever you want to, over and over and over again. And all I ask is that if you do, excuse me, sorry, I got hair in my eye. I only ask if you do that, to please leave a review so other people know what this brings to the table. And so the links to that are on the post here. It's also available on YouTube, and the link to the YouTube page is there as well. So you can download, you can see them there on YouTube. And I have now made an animal experience Facebook Live or Facebook page, business page. I will post the link to that. The reason that I did that is so that it is easier for everybody to comment about the animal experience in one place. And it's also about the videos being able to be seen in one place on Facebook, because it was a little complicated for people trying to find it on my personal page. Now, I'm still going to be posting the animal experience to my personal page. That's where the live is. And then I'm uploading it to the Facebook Live or the Facebook business page. Okay. And that link is here as well. So please like the animal experience, and please share about the animal experience so people know about the animal experience. So Colby Jack. Okay. George says, the ones that do see these beings, can they speak with them and work with them? Some. Yes, they can speak with them. Some don't always feel a need to work with them. and some, it's like a person. Some are being called to work with angels, and some are being called to work with other beings. And so it really depends on what's going on and what their life purpose and their life plan is talking about too. So that's about the life plan and the soul plan, episode 5. So I hope that answers the question. Laura, next week is Thanksgiving. Are we doing a show that day? Ah, Laura, you are the bomb. Woo, thank you, Lord. I forgot all about that. My mind is like Swiss cheese sometimes, I swear to God. Okay, so because Laura is absolutely right, next week is Thanksgiving. So what I'm doing, hang on one second. Let me just, I thought I put it down somewhere. Sorry. What I'm going to do. Oh, right. I did do it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is the animal experience is going to be on Tuesday, next week only. Tuesday, the 21st, 1 p.m. All right. Laura, I kiss you. Thank you for that. I totally spaced on that. I can't believe I spaced on that. So the animal experience next week, 12 p.m. next week, Tuesday, 12 p.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Mountain, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that way we don't miss it for Thanksgiving, and everybody can have their turkey day or their tofu day or whatever it is that you eat without having to worry about missing Thanksgiving or the animal experience. So thank you. Kobe Jack says, yes, awesome topic. My dad says, I'm grumpy at champ and I need an exorcism. I'm not touching that. Colby, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole, but okay. So again, everybody, all the links, YouTube, Google Play, iTunes, and the new Facebook page for the animal experience is on this post. Please share. Please let people know. If you're enjoying this, let me know. I appreciate you. And if you can also, the reason that I made the page is now you can leave reviews. If these episodes are touching you, you can really and truly give me a review and let me know. Let me know what I need to work on if I need to work on something. You know, let me know I'm getting all this love. Thank you. I love you all. So that's why I'm doing the Facebook page. Again, I will post it to my Facebook private page so you have it. I'll also send you guys invites. Please like the page. If I send you an invite, I'll send it to as many people as I can over the next few days. So again, next week, we're going to be viewing on Tuesday, the 21st, because it's Turkey Day week. So Thursday, we're not doing. And then we go back to regular scheduled programming the week after that. And if anybody has anything that they want me to post about or talk about on the animal experience, let me know. Colby Jack says you are the most enjoyable. Well, thank you. I think next to you, I'm probably close, but you're coming in close first, Colby Jack. All you animals do. I love you. I love you all. I love you all. And I will see you next week, next Tuesday. Don't forget, I love you, and I'll see you then. Bye.